We got a nice day. It's about 75 today, and it's time to get one of the bikes out. My baby right here, the Gixxer 750. We've been riding together for a long time. But, you know, it's time to switch it up. If you've been watching my channel recently, you see I got a new Indian Scout. It's a brand new 2025 Scout 60 bobber. It's the limited. I get the cruise control, traction control, 3 ride modes, ABS, all that good stuff. I just get this little tire. So there it is, about to ride out. Gixxer. Yeah. So anyways, I love my Gixxer, it's beautiful. My baby, I'll never sell it, but we had to switch things up a little bit. Got the GoPro on here ready to go. Hopefully it doesn't fall off, but it doesn't look too bad on there. And I got my helmet cam. Show you real quick the helmet cam. Right there, we got the GoPro media adapter or mic adapter. There's an N on there. GoPro Hero 7, Cardo Pack Talk. So, see if we can get some good footage. First time motovlogging, so hopefully it turns out pretty decent. But all right, I'm gonna say bye to the Gixxer for now. Jump on the Indian Scout bobber, Scout 60 bobber, and let's ride.
All right, let's go on this nice evening ride on the Scout 60 bobber. I call it bobbing around. Mirror's good. Good. All right. Let's do a nice sunset ride. I think the sun's already set. All right, so let's talk a little bit about why I chose the Scout 60 bobber coming from Sport Bikes. So hold on real quick. Let me get into my mileage. There we go. We're at 138 miles so far. I bought this bike with 0.5, so a half a mile. Probably just rolling around the dealership and all that good stuff. I don't know, they made a ticket around the parking lot. Maybe someone went on a test ride, all that good stuff. First 100 miles, I'm loving this bike. So coming from Sport Bikes, that's all I've ever ridden. I've never ridden these style of bikes, these cruiser style bikes. As I was in the power sports store looking for another toy. I like buying a lot of toys. I looked over and I saw there was an Indian dealership connected to it, and I didn't quite even know what Indian was at the time. And this is a few years back. So I walked over and, you know, it looked like you had to have some money, some deep pockets, have some class, because just the way the dealership was set up, you know, it looked like public school on the like Polaris, Kawasaki, Honda side. It looked like private school over there on the Indian side. And I was like, what kind of bikes are these? So I go look, and I immediately see that Scout bobber. You know, and at the time I'm like, ooh, look at that price tag. Kind of a lot. You know, I'm not sure. I mean, even though, you know, quite a few other bikes, high-end bikes over on the Japanese side were, you know, you can get to that price range, but these got to 20, 30,000 pretty quickly. So I, you know, looked at a few of them and then saw the Scout bobber, and I was like, what is that? That bike looks sick, you know. And I've always, you know, you know, when I'm playing games or, you know, like certain video games and such, I have always loved the post-apocalyptic style bikes. Like, you know, you're playing a game like Days Gone or watching a movie like Mad Max or something. It's like, I don't think I'd ever see a sport bike in a post-apocalyptic world. But any games or movies or anything I've seen that caught my interest with motorcycle wise in this style of bike was always these like minimalistic, naked looking bikes that look like they'd just, you know, with the right tires and the right customization, they just look beautiful. So you know, they look beautiful and they look like they just fit the scenery, and I've always liked that style, but you know, I didn't know what bike to choose if I was gonna go that style, so I just kept to my sport bikes. But when I saw this Scout bobber, I'm like, yeah, that's my style right there. one day I'll be able to afford it. So did some saving up, you know, and this is like 5 years ago. So I mean, I guess at that time would have been the 2020 bobber. So I'm, you know, I think even in this year, this is a new redesign. So some things were actually different. So this is about 5 years ago, and when I was, you know, I was like, you know what, I've been kind of, you know, checking them out here and there over the years, and I was like, you know what, this is my year. This is my year. I'm gonna get me an Indian Scout bobber, and I've been posting about it on Facebook for years. Like, one day I'm gonna get me an Indian Scout bobber, and I've loved all these looks and all these designs of them. But then this year they redesigned everything. So, you know, when I finally decide I'm gonna get one and I want the newest year, I don't want to say they redesigned everything, but there's a few things that they redesigned that I noticed that I can't like quite make look like the other bobbers. And one of the main things is the exhaust. There's a limited amount of options for an aftermarket exhaust, and with me kind of changing everything on everything I own, I'll customize everything I own. I really don't like anything factory. And it's not that I change everything on the bike, but I have to make the bike or the car or whatever it is, it has to be mine. So it has to fit me. So I noticed when I first bought this, I'm like, or when I first was looking at it, I'm like, well, the exhaust is different, and just checking out all the options online, the different style of exhaust and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's very limited, but I'm still gonna buy the bike. Yeah, so I went to the dealership and started checking out the Scout bobbers again for the 2025. So at this time, or 5 years ago, I did not know anything about a 60 bobber. And when I started to look at these bikes again, I still did not know anything about a 60 bobber. I kept seeing the Scout bobber. So I'm checking them out. You know me, I'm already don't want to spend the money on the bike anyway. It's already very expensive. Then I see starting at $9,999. I'm like, what's starting at $9,999? I don't see anything here starting at $9,999. So finally found the one starting at $9,999, and that's so $10,000, and that's the Scout 60 bobber. Well, okay, I don't know much about these bikes. What is the Scout 60 bobber? Start doing my research, start looking at the new models, what the Scout 60 bobber offers compared to the Scout, and I started to notice that the Scout 60 bobber actually had more of the features that I preferred over the Scout bobber. And some of those main features were the mid controls, and the Scout 60, the Scout 60 bobber had the mid controls, and he's taking off. There you go, buddy. So Scout 60 bobber had the mid controls, and the Scout bobber had the forward controls. So I sat on both with little experience in either one, sat on both, and hold on, his tail was, he was fishtailing right there for a bit, like a little bit of wobble over there. So anyway, sat on the Scout 60 bobber, sat on the Scout bobber, without even really knowing which one kind of I preferred. I was just like, yeah, I like these mid controls. I do not like the forward controls. That's actually what's kept me away from cruiser style bikes for the longest time, with people having their feet forward. And I just personally don't like that look. It may be a style or a look that other people like, but I just don't like it. So the Scout 60 bobber offered the mid controls, and I was like, yeah, like just that alone is enough to make up my decision. I do not want to ride a bike with forward controls, and that's a personal preference. I know others may love that, but I wanted the mid controls. Now you may be able to swap that, but I just didn't want to swap it. So I'm looking at the Scout 60 bobber, the standard model, and now that my mind is made up on the 60 bobber, I'm looking at the standard model versus the limited. So I see the standard model is just bare bones, no ride controls, nothing like that. So I see the limited model has 3 ride modes: range, sport, and standard. And the cruise control, traction control, ABS, all these features. And then I'm like, yeah, like my Gixxer doesn't have any of that. My Gixxer doesn't have any of those fun. I mean, I got 2 ride modes. I'm on 2012 750 A and B, but let me get a little speed up on here. This thing's got some speed. So yeah, like my Gixxer doesn't have any of that. So I'm like, you know what? Why not go all out? I'm going 2025. You know, I'm going 2025. Why go bare bones? Like, let's get a little bit of add some features. Now, as far as I'm aware, and I was told by the salesman at the dealership, that all of the features on the limited model and the Scout Bobber can be swapped over to the 60 Bobber. I think he said the cruise control, the light cover. The 60 Bobber has a naked light, but the standard Bobber has a cover over the light. I didn't like the cover over the light, but he said all that stuff can be swapped. So I'm like, yeah, man, the 60 Bobber's like sounding more and more my style. You know, every second, everything you mentioned to me, I'm starting to prefer the 60 Bobber. So I, you know, get on it, and I'm like, the seating position is just right compared to my Gixxer. I really have no interest in my back hurting, man. My back's been hurting for years, so I really have no interest in being bent over. So I like sit on the bike, you know, back position feels fine. I was reading a little bit that people really don't like, they say it's uncomfortable. They say the Scout Bobber is uncomfortable. Hey, compared to my Gixxer 750, this is comfort for me. Like the riding position, the sitting style, it works. So I like this sitting style. I don't know, maybe after 1,000 miles, maybe I don't like it. The only thing between the Scout 60 Bobber, oh, before I mention that, the Scout 60 Bobber has 5 gears. You see I'm in 5th right now, and the standard Scout Bobber has 6 gears. I can tell you right now, in the first 150 miles I put on this, I have not searched for that 6th gear at all, not one time, not once. So obviously I wouldn't know that too much in the store while I'm looking at it, but I can tell you right now, in the first 150 miles, I haven't looked for that one time. So that further solidified my thought process even after I purchased it. You know, you have that what do you call that, buyer's remorse. I've had 0 buyer's remorse going with the standard the Scout 60 Bobber limited. So what was I saying, between the 5 gears, it was the 5 gears compared to 6. It was a 999cc engine compared to the 1250 in the standard. It was the perch mirrors that I removed and threw on some Amazon $49 mirrors, so those are gone. That was a cheap little fix. It was the light cover. I didn't like the light cover of the standard. Oh, and then the rear fender. So the standard Scout comes with this rear fender that goes over the frame, and the 60 Bobber, standard 60 Bobber, the base model, does not come with the rear fender, but the limited did come with the rear fender. So that was just going to be something I removed because I didn't like that rear fender anyways. So I kind of obviously paid for that, but I just took that off. But I did like how the 60 Bobber didn't have that. I love that the frame had this little design on it, and it looked better than the big fender over the rear. So yeah, the mid controls, the 5 gears, then I'm not searching for the 6, the naked light. All these things are I felt like the 60 Bobber fit me much more than I don't want to say much more than the standard Scout, but it was justifiable. Like, but the foot position, that was it for me. I'm not riding a bike that's 4 controls because I just don't like it. And why would you spend all this money for something that you don't like? We'll say that since I am in the break-in period, Indian recommends like these weird shift points, so they want you to be in like these super high gears too fast, so they want you shifting like every 7 to 10 miles an hour, and I can promise you that at 40 miles an hour, 4th gear feels horrible. I mean, this bike does like 60 in 2nd gear, so it feels horrible. The bike's just lugging along like there's no power, no acceleration, and that's because the gear is too high for the speed. But I mean, that's how they suggest it. I don't know. How do you guys break in bikes? Do you listen to the manufacturer's suggestions, or do you just ride it like you stole it? Let me know. Do some cruising real quick. I feel like this 999 does it all. In this sport mode, oh yeah, I feel like I would have been kind of upset in the standard mode, simply because the standard Scout 60 Bobber, if standard mode was the only mode it had, I feel like I'd be kind of upset because there's too much of a lag. But this, I'm in a place where deer can cross, so I need to watch out for these deer. But I feel like this sport mode is the icing on the cake. Like I said, the 60 Bobber just fit everything I'm looking for. Besides those perch mirrors, and those perch mirrors are gone, but I'm not lacking speed, I'm not lacking torque. you know. And that's not to say the Scout Bobber is a the standard Bobber is a bad bike by any means. It's just this bike fit me. It's tailored more to me, to what I prefer. So we're gonna ride off into the sunset in the mountains on the Scout 60 Bobber. And I got to keep twisting the throttle just because, you know, during break-in you want to be at varying speeds. You don't want to be you know, holding the throttle in place for too long per Indian's suggestions. Break-in procedures. So I got to keep varying the RPMs. But this bike, like, I don't know if I'm going to go back to my Gixxer 750. I mean, maybe. We're gonna get some waves out. There we go. So obviously I won't sell it. I love my bike. It's my baby. But man, this bike is so much fun. I had no idea this bike would be this much fun. What do we got on the ground over here? Hey, I'm getting so many bugs on my on my helmet. Shoot. I will say though that this the one thing I didn't like about the 60 Bobber is that it comes with these like street tires and the standard Scout, and maybe there's multiple models of the standard Scout that come with different tires, but I do like the all-terrain kind of like off-roadish look on the Scout Bobbers. But just looks better. Like I said, I like that Mad Max post-apocalyptic look, and the all-terrain tires kind of fit that much better than the whatchamacallit, than the street tires. Let's come up over this mountain. Had to take in the scenery there. So yeah, it's got a little 150 tire on it, and it's just a little too skinny for me. I remember one time my buddy he bought a new Ninja 300. He's new into bikes. I kind of talked him into getting a 300 just because, like, you know, I just didn't want him on anything too big, and I know a 600 would have been good, but he was a little nervous about it, which is fine. So but when I got on the 300, I rode it home for him, and that skinny, I just can't ride a bike like that, man. There's not enough power, but that skinny tire in the rear was driving me crazy. And they put the 150s on this as well. And I don't even know what's on the Ninja 300, but I know it's skinny. But my Gixxer has a 180 in the rear, and I was seeing that people did swap these to 180s that'll fit on this rim. It'll fit up to a 180 before you have to change anything, do any modifications. So I will go with the 180. I do prefer that on my 750, and I will prefer it on here. I do not like skinny tires or somewhat slim tires on motorcycles, but so I will do that. Also, the rear suspension, yeah, it's not great. Not great, you know, barely good, but it's okay. I will swap it out eventually, but that's gonna cost money, and after, you know, what this cost me out the door, a little over 13 grand out the door, and I did pay cash. This I'm gonna hold off a little bit on the modifications. I mean, these $50 mirrors was enough for now, but I think Fox makes a some rear shocks for this, and I don't remember the price, but I think a quick glance it was in the 800 to 1,000 range. So I'm like, shoot. And I don't hate this suspension yet, but I do feel the bumps, so I probably will swap that out eventually. But before that, the exhaust has to go. Like this big long trash can exhaust, yeah, that has to go. So Vance & Hines has I was looking at Vance & Hines. They're releasing an exhaust and Freedom Performance. I'm looking for slip-ons right now, not just, you know, not full exhaust. So I'm looking on for slip-ons, and Vance & Hines has a short exhaust. I think they have the shortest on the market so far, and I think I'm gonna go with that one, but it's just not released yet. So I think they said I called them, they said they'll ship it out in June. So they want to purchase the Vance and Hines. I was looking at the Freedom, but I was just the reviews were too mixed. It was too many reviews of whatchamacallit, negative reviews. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around. I don't know how much battery life this GoPro is gonna give me. So the negative reviews it was really bad on the whatchamacallit, the Freedom exhaust. I just didn't want to deal with the company. And I know it's kind of sucks to say sometimes, but you know, your public reviews are everything. And if people are having a lot of negative reviews, and I understand the positive ones, but sometimes I seem to want to be the one to get part of the negative that people were talking about, so I kind of avoid those. So Vance and Hines almost lost me. I was calling them for like a week, and they wouldn't answer the phone, and I'd wait for 20-40 minutes, and they'd be like, it'd say, hey, you're caller number 4, call number 3, 2, 1, you're next in line. And then it'd say, sorry, leave a voicemail. And I'm well within hours. I call from morning till night 3 or 4 times a day, and they kept going to voicemail. They said their voicemail is full, you can't leave a voicemail. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm not about to buy shit. Or, you know, from you guys, if that's the case, if I can't even get hold of customer service. And the reason why I want to get a hold of them is because when I found their exhaust, I couldn't find any information online. Not one YouTube review, not one Reddit review, not one forum, any forum, Facebook, nothing review. So yeah, I was like, yeah, something's up, you know. So but when I finally called them and they finally answered when I was about to give up, they're like, oh yeah, it's not released yet, that's why there's no reviews. And I was like, ah, that makes sense. Yeah, we're gonna find somewhere to turn around up here, head back. I don't know how long my battery will last, but I'm out in the sticks. Look at that forest fire. So that was the forest fire when Mount Hood burned a few years ago, and just look at it, it's still trying to recover. But we're gonna turn right here. Well, look at that. We're gonna go ahead and get over, pull over right here. Fallen rocks, yeah. I love this ride though, but it's getting late, and I don't know how long my GoPro is gonna last. We don't know who the hell is in there, so we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving and head back. Love this bobber though, man. Like I did this ride on my Gixxer, and I just I don't know, it just wasn't, I didn't really enjoy it. But man, on this, it's beautiful. That beautiful forest. This is where I ride my dirt bikes and quads up as well. Hope that GoPro lasted. But yeah, like, you know, 5th gear. I'm not looking for the 6th. I don't feel any crazy vibrations. You know, sometimes people say, oh, I got some vibrations in my hand, and at this speed, I don't feel nothing. Not a thing. Obviously, your normal vibrations of an engine, but nothing that's bothersome. Watch out for these fallen rocks. That's what we're gonna watch out for. Oh, and the lean angle. I've been a little nervous because since I'm not used to these style of bikes, they say it comes with, I believe, 31 degrees of lean angle. And I you know, and when I'm watching YouTube videos and I'm seeing people leaning and I'm hearing all these scrapes, I'm like, oh, you know, how far are they leaning? I got this big exhaust, so when I'm taking this right lean right here, I keep thinking this long trash can exhaust is gonna scrape. So, but it hasn't yet. I haven't scraped yet, but I keep thinking that, so I'm kind of cautious on my leaning right now while I'm getting used to this bike. Just because, you know, it's lower. It's a short bike. You can stand. You know, I'm 6 foot, and you can stand up completely and just like wiggle this bike around. You know, flat-footed. If just about any height can flat-foot this bike. It's so short to the ground. This is such a nice cruise. I know it's getting late now, but I love it. Oh, I'll be taking my dirt bikes up to Lottie Flats here soon. But yeah, this bike's cruise is so nice. 60 to 70. and it gets up there with no issue, like none at all. Sometimes I just want to keep riding, don't even want to stop. Yeah, these mirrors, they're Kemimoto. I got a little video on these mirrors. 49 bucks. The standard Scout Bobber will come with the mirrors, so if you get the standard with the 1250, you'll have the mirrors. I actually had to stop putting so many miles on my Gixxer because my back was killing me. This bike, I think, is gonna change that for me. This riding season is gonna be a good one. I look forward to it. That nice sunset, so beautiful. Watch out for these deer. It's getting to that time of night. This is where time deer start moving. I gotta be vigilant. I've hunted up here a few times, and yeah, they'll be right in the middle of this damn road. And I can't ruin the new Scout Bobber, Scout 60 Bobber. I wonder when I'll ever use the cruise control, because I've never used cruise control on a bike and I'm just not used to it. Maybe on like a long trip or something, but I love cranking this throttle. So maybe on a long trip I'll use the cruise control. Up front I got the GoPro Mini 11. I was trying to use my GoPro Session, but that thing's like 10 years old and it just has too many issues. Can I get that thing to work? So I just went and picked up the GoPro 11. So hopefully that GoPro 11 is giving me some good footage from the other angle. That's the one right on my light up there. The one I'm recording on my helmet with is a GoPro Hero 7 Black. This one's quite old. I think the 13 is out right now, so, but at least this one still gives me good footage. Shoots in 4K, so not really a huge need for any 5 to 8K right now. Pretty good with this 4K. The mic setup is some $25 Amazon mic with the GoPro mic adapter, and it is working wonderfully. I did a few test runs with it. Hopefully it's working wonderfully. I did a few test runs with it earlier today, and the mic quality sounded decent, so I'm hoping it comes out decent. So they do have the I didn't mention it before, but the limited tech option, limited plus tech. So that has this digital gauge, which another reason that didn't sway me is because I was told that the gauge can just be popped right in, so I can just remove this gauge, just pop the new gauge in. I'm sure a little bit of whatchamacallit, you know, some wiring and stuff like that right somewhere. I don't know, maybe not, maybe it's just completely plug and play. But the one thing about technology on gauges and such is sometimes, and I was reading some of these in reviews and I've seen it on other things, is that there can be like a lag in the speed and GPS and all that type of stuff, like the response time. And for the extra $1,000 or $2,000, I just didn't want to like take that risk. I just take the good old analog gauge. But if maybe later on I wanted to grab that gauge, it's powered by Ride Command, I can just do that. But it's $1,000, and hopefully it's just plug and play. But for now, we're gonna rock the analog gauge. That's what I'm used to. That's what I like. It works. But I did like how it's swappable. But if you want that from the factory, you can go ahead and add that option. I'm coming down way faster than I went up, man. Rides be over too quick. And they also have a limited colors in the Scout 60 bomber. So I went with the Onyx Black Smoke. It was my favorite color out of every single color in that dealership. This was my favorite color. So once again, the Scout 60 bomber tailored to something that I was interested in, and I didn't feel like I was settling. The gloss colors on the standard Scout or the Scout 60 bomber, the gloss black, I didn't like. I feel like this gives me like this Dark Knight look, you know. I don't know, man. It just feels real cool. Look like Batman might jump on something like this. But yeah, they had like a matte red. I believe they had like a gloss blue, a white, I believe a gray. The Scout 101 had some like red and gold, which was kind of nice. I like that, but you know, nah, just this bike fit me. I'm already at the bottom. I gotta go further next time. Hopefully this mic caught most of this stuff. I mean, not the mic. Hopefully this GoPro didn't die. See if we guys, there's some good footage in there. Slowing down. Oh, this bike, I can just keep riding this bike for so long, man. I just, oh man. Engine's so smooth, shifting is smooth. You just gotta, one thing about the shifting, and I saw it in a video as well, you have to follow through. There's been a few times you gotta make sure you commit when you're shifting. Those little light shifts don't always work. I've caught in what is like the middle of a gear, and it just revs. Like it doesn't go into the, you know, the next one or the previous one. It just, you get stuck. It's like when you get caught in neutral when you're going from first to second on any bike, you know, where, you know, first is down and you know, second is up. You get caught in neutral, you go revving and you know. This happens in any gear on here. I've done it between any gear, so I just know I gotta commit when I shift gear. So that's one thing I did notice. So something to pay attention to when you're shifting this bike. You're doing these quick shifts, you must commit, or that this bike has a tendency to get stuck. And I did hear about that happening to another guy, and so yeah, something to think about. The bike sounds and feels good when you're on it, but when you know, you got this thing in neutral and you're idling, it doesn't sound good to me. When I'm riding, I'm hearing this rumbling right now. Sounds good, but yeah, it does not sound good when you're idling. So that's why the exhaust has to go. Sounds like a sewing machine. Oh, and they also have an LED headlight for this that's been out for years, but that is swappable into these things called the Pathfinder headlights, like $300 from Indian. I will be swapping that in at some point, along with some smoked turn signals. Get rid of those amber lights and stuff. Kind of give that bike more of the Dark Knight look. Like I'm Batman or something. Get rid of the colors. I really am not a fan of chrome either, so that's another reason the perch mirrors had to go, because I don't like the chrome mirrors. I'm not a person who wants a big chrome bike. I like this all black smoke dark look. So obviously I'm not going to change every bolt that's chrome, but I will do as much as I can. I feel like Captain America or something right now. You know, have me a good shield. Mad Max might have like a sawed-off shotgun off the back. Deacon off Days Gone got his shotgun on the back. Oh man, there's so many bugs hitting my. I thought bugs went away. You know, for a while, you know, you driving your car daily, you don't see that many bugs on the windshield. But man, let me tell you, bugs didn't go away. There's bugs all over this windscreen right now. And my helmet, it is the Scorpion Covert FX. Whenever I buy a new bike, I buy a new helmet. That's just my thing. I do not ride the same helmet on different bikes. I buy a new bike, I don't care if that's a dirt bike, I don't care if that's an ATV, sport bike, street bike, I mean anything, I buy a new helmet. So for this bike, I chose the Scorpion Covert FX, and then hooked all my GoPro stuff up to it. I wanted a helmet, and I only ride full face helmets. I don't ride 3/4 or halves, but I wanted a helmet that kind of fit the styling of the bike, and this helmet it did that. it does that. I love it. Look at it from the side. Yeah, it does that. Ride this bike forever. So I've only been running non-ethanol on here. We're at 171 miles, so this bug on my helmet is like fluttering. Gotta run the good stuff, man. But 91 octane minimum. 91. Don't put no regular 87 in this bad boy. Only the good stuff. You know, they say you gotta pay to play. So when you certain things you buy, you just gotta pay the extra premium for it. Keep it up, keep it running good. You know what's also weird? This bike you use, instead of a chain, it uses like a belt. It's like a belt driven system that has like these notches in it. I've just never seen anything like that before. You know? Okay, let's watch to make sure he doesn't turn too fast. Okay, they see me, they see me. Woo! Every time I see, well, most of the time I see bike accidents, it's that type of turn right there. That left-hand turn from oncoming traffic is where I see a lot of accidents happen, and so I'm very vigilant to those. Is this guy like dropping a bunch of water right here? Is that his truck? God damn, or somebody else doing that, man? It's spilling water everywhere. But yeah, I'm about to cruise. I'm about to cruise. Let me know what you guys think about the Scout 60 bobber, man. Let me know what's on your mind. Are you new to bikes? Are you looking for, you know, this style of bike? To me, personally, I'm gonna tell you right now, personally, I think the Indian Scout bobber is the best looking bobber on the market. Factory, you know, I can't say anything about custom bikes. From the factory, nothing looks like the Indian Scout bobber to me. So that's a personal opinion. I'm sticking to it right now. I think it's a great beginner bike, great intermediate bike. You know, if you like the styling of the standard Scout, go for that bike. See nothing wrong with it. I haven't found any negatives about this bike at all. Not for me. Oh yeah, never mind. That skinny tire, but it's not so much of a huge negative. Just something I personally don't like. You know, slim tires. That's all. Hey, I wonder how long I've been gone. I wonder if that GoPro lasted, man. Hopefully the GoPro was even recording. Oh, that wind's blowing. Alright, there's a dangerous turn coming. So yeah, like as I was saying, let me know what you guys think of the Indian Scout bobber, and let me make sure this person doesn't do anything crazy. Do you ride Indian? You prefer Harley? Prefer sports bikes? I'm not getting rid of my sports bike. I love it. Love my sports bike. Never know we need to go 200 miles an hour on any given Sunday. No, I'm just playing. I don't ride that fast. I think I love the Scout so much is because it's the sporty look, and I love the sporty look of sport bikes, and I think this kind of blends it. It just blends that cruiser look with that sport. Come on, nobody do any crazy turns. This road over here is known for a lot of accidents, so I'm pretty cautious around these curves. I know a lot of people aren't, but I live on this road, and my little pulse point app goes off every year with fatal accidents, cars and motorcycles. So I'm a little careful over here when I'm riding. I don't come zooming around the curves in a full lane. Not that I can do that on this bike anyways, but whoo, I felt that bump. Yeah, I felt it. So yeah, be cautious, ride safe. Got little ones at home, ride safe. Ride safe just in general, honestly. Somebody cares about you. This bike is a freaking blast though. In these curves though, if you're like in that 40-50 range, don't listen to Indian and be in 5th gear. Absolutely not. You wanna drop that gear. Like right now, it's too much hesitation. There's not enough acceleration there. Too high of a gear. So I'm gonna drop this gear down to actually the 4th and kick the RPMs up a bit. Now that feels much better through the curves. Man, ran the gas out, running the gas out. We'll get some gas tomorrow. The seat comfort's not bad. I don't know if I mentioned that, but a lot of people opt for a comfort seat or some sort of custom seat. I can see why. I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's great. So I could definitely. Oh my God, that guy just swerved off onto the side of the road. Look at that. What's going on over here, man? You got to be careful. That trailer. He's pulling a trailer. Woo! Let me be careful. Let me slow down a little bit. But yeah, so maybe one day I'll look into the comfort seat. You know, doesn't feel the greatest, but it's not bad. It's decent. Damn, that trailer went all the way off. Woo! Nice ride on the Scout. You need your 4th gear is where it's at right here. You don't need 5th gear to your bike in that in that 70 range, honestly, that 65, 70. And like consistently, not, you know, like I'm fine right here. Oh, skunk, dead skunk. Stinking too, it's stinking. Damn. I hope my GoPro lasted this whole time. I really do, because there's some good footage there. All right. Well, it's been a fun, nice evening ride. $180 miles. 180 miles.